Starting now. All right. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Jordan Landry, and welcome to the Hot Corner podcast presented by Bias Boston Sports. Pete couldn't do the show tonight, but I'm joined as always by Evan Marinovsky. Evan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing just great. How about you?
Doing fantastic. And tonight we've got a special guest, Red Sox prospect taking the fifth round of last year's draft, Alex Scherff, right-handed pitcher. Alex, thank you for coming on tonight, man.
Of course.
All right, sweet.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, no problem. We'll start things off by asking, obviously, the question everyone's wondering. Take us back to the day you got drafted. What does it mean to you to have been taken by such a storied franchise like the Red Sox? Was there another team that, not that you'd rather been drafted by, but was there a team that you were eyeing possibly at the draft? And then obviously what it felt like when your name was called in the fifth round.
Draft day, honestly, it was really like a big mess for me personally. It was just it was just a weird day. I was just kind of running around doing some stuff. Obviously, not like as a prospect, not getting picked up in the first two rounds, whenever you're ranked high or whatever is kind of a shot for you. So I was thinking about going to school, to be honest. And then, I got a call and it was the Red Sox. Obviously, I've been a Red Sox fan for a while, but obviously I never really followed baseball that much professionally. Honestly, I'm a really big college sports guy. So I was coming back from the Apple store in my car and I get a call and I was like, hello? I usually just don't answer my phone, if I don't know who the number is, but I picked it up and it was our director, our scouting director, and I was like, wow, this is kind of a shock. And he made me an offer and I was like, that's incredible. Obviously getting a call like that to pursue a dream that you've had is since you were a little kid and to play pro ball, it's a dream come true. So it was an offer I couldn't refuse. So obviously being in an organization like this is a huge blessing for me, and it's been a ride so far, and I'm so excited to get my first season going. I've been itching to get out of town,
Yeah,
definitely.
That'd be so funny if you were at the Apple store getting your phone fixed, and all of a sudden, as the phone's getting fixed, you miss the call from the Red Sox. You're like, damn it, there it goes. There goes my whole career because the stupid iPhone.
No, that's the first thing I thought of whenever I was I'm not kidding. It was 10 minutes after I had gotten my stuff fixed, and I didn't have my phone for 15, 20 minutes. And that's so funny. The small such a small window like that can make or break your future and what you think you're gonna be in just 2 months from that moment. But no, it's just funny how it worked out, and I'm so glad that I chose to sign and to play professionally. It's the people I've met, our coaches, our front office people, everyone's just so awesome. And I'm so thrilled to be in this organization. I couldn't see myself anywhere else and wearing a different uniform.
Was there any other play? I know Jordan had asked this, but were there any other places that you seriously were eyeing that maybe some pre-draft websites were saying you were going, and you're like, oh, if I went there, that wouldn't be that bad. Was there anywhere else that you could have seen yourself in or wanted to be aside from Boston, obviously?
Well, playing area code stuff since sophomore or summer going into junior year going into senior year, I thought I was going to get picked up by the Rangers probably because that's just the area code team that I played for. And one of our coaches was is with them. He's an area scout with the Rangers. So that's where I really thought that I was going to end up. But, and since I train at TMI Sports Performance in Arlington, which is where a bunch of the big league guys train and stuff, I figured that'd be a really good fit or whatever. I had no idea the Red Sox had any interest until about a week before. And then I went and threw at Fenway. And then I met everybody in the front office there after I had done that. And it was all just a lot to take in. So, and then I get the call from them and I was like, wow, this is perfect.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely happy that we took you. I watched some of the highlights and all the film on you, and you got some nasty stuff, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you blossom down in the minors and hopefully getting up here before you know it. One question I've had is obviously there's a lot of hype around the Red Sox first round pick, Tanner. I believe his last name is pronounced Hook or Hauk or something like that. Is there Hauk? Yeah. Any sort of internal competition you may have with him? I want to make sure that I'm up there before him, or is it just, you're going to trust the process? You're going to kind of take it one step at a time and just try and be the best player you can be for the Red Sox when your time's ready?
Well, I mean, it's not just like competition. Like, I mean, obviously, like me and Tanner have become like really good friends now, and like obviously there's like friendly competition because that's just what makes you a better player, and that's just gonna make our organization better, and all of our pitching just take that next step, and that like iron sharpens iron. Like I really believe in that. So, like having someone that good, like be compared to like me or something like that, I think that's like a privilege to be like competing with somebody like that because Tanner's a great ball player. Tanner's fantastic. And I'm glad to be on the same field and be able to work up in the same organization as he is.
Are there any pitchers in today's game or, growing up, did you have any pitchers you tried to model yourself after?
Whenever I was like a little younger, like 9 years old, we had Ranger season tickets, and it was like around when CJ Wilson was with the Rangers, and I just like I loved the way that he pitched, like the red glove, like that's part of why I had one senior year. Like I really dug like how he carried himself and the way that he went about his business, and like that's just who I've always tried to like model myself after. He's like a huge car guy off the field. I'm a huge car guy off the field. Like I'm crazy about cars, whatever. But yeah, like that's just him and Justin Verlander are two guys that I try to like model myself after.
Justin Verlander,
that's awesome.
Justin Verlander's definitely not a bad guy to try and emulate. He's a guy I've been trying to perfect. He's been a guy I've been trying to emulate for years, and obviously we all saw how that went. When I got my opportunity.
That beautiful first pitch. Just no more Justin Verlander.
That was so awesome.
I don't want to make it personal. I just wanted to ask if you saw it live, if you had any reactions towards it. I remember messaging you on Twitter about it, and you were like, "No shit, that was you." I remember that, but like, were there any reactions you had for that?
Honestly, like I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, "Damn, like that's funny as shit." And I was like, "That was you?" I was like, "What?"
And what's even better is you're a high school pitcher. Like you play baseball. I think that's the best part about it.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And I remember I got a match on Tinder that night, and the girl's first message to me was, "No kidding." I just matched the dude that threw out the first pitch of the Sox game tonight. That was fantastic. And I used as an icebreaker with Gordy Gronkowski too. That was fantastic.
Hey, can you guys see me right now? Because it looks like that.
Nah.
Okay, hold on. I think my phone in like low power mode or something. I'm gonna try to.
It's all right. We can still hear you, which is
wiggle with
fine.
that. Right
yeah,
on.
it's fine.
Oh, there we go.
So
hit the button.
Speaking of legends in Boston. That's a nice little segue. Do you ever obviously Boston is an incredible place. It's a historic place. Do you ever dream? Do you ever find yourself dreaming about being a legend? Being someone that's an incredible figure here.
Yeah, like I'm a big believer also in just training yourself to see your future and to do what's necessary to get there, and thinking about it, I think that's one of my weaknesses, honestly, is just looking too far ahead. But yeah, I think about it all the time, being a big leaguer there and pitching in front of 60,000 people or whatever it is. Pitching there before the draft was it was crazy. I saw thousands of people around, and I could hear it. It was the coolest thing.
Yeah, man, I bet it definitely something that a lot of high school pitchers dream about is playing, especially the ones locally that they dream about playing in front of all those people at Fenway Park. And definitely looking at how the farm has been shaped over the last few years, there's definitely a pathway for guys like you and Tanner to really make your mark in this organization and make your way up here in relatively short time. So definitely looking forward to that. And speaking, while we're on the topic of legends, obviously the Hall of Fame inductees just came out, and there's a few guys that I just wanted to ask you whether or not you think these guys are Hall of Famers, because there's a lot of controversy around them. There's Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and Curt Schilling. Those are the three guys that I'm wondering if you think they should be Hall of Famers or whatnot. I know you're a guy from Texas, so you got to see Roger Clemens pitch live, I'm assuming, a few times. So if you have any comments on those few guys.
No comments on Barry Bonds and Kurt Schilling, but I mean Roger Clemens, absolutely. Like I love that guy to death. I played with his son actually for a number of years with the Houston Banditos, and he's at UT now, so I know them and their family very well. Roger's like one of the nicest guys ever. He just I don't even know, but like I met Trevor Hoffman at the Perfect Game All-American game, and those two guys are just really stand-up people. Like they know how to speak to you, and obviously on the field, like they're just dominating. Like they just dominated everybody. Like there was just no question. Like they come into the game, you're like they're who you come to see. So it's like it's even cool to say that like I've like met the guy, you know. But yeah, no question. I think they definitely deserve it, every bit of it.
Did they teach you anything about pitching? Like, have you ever like what's the best piece of pitching advice you've gotten from anybody really, or from even like a baseball star?
I also played with Andy Pettit's son. Sorry, Yankees reference, but
okay, we'll be all right.
Yeah, Jared Pettit, he's playing at U of H, and his dad Andy was around a lot, and I tried to like pick their brains a little bit while I was playing. And like I was super young. I was like a freshman in high school, so I was just like starting to kind of come into my own. But the best thing that they told me, and it's like what I tell people that ask me like advice on like them just getting started out and them trying to get their footing in baseball and like try to get a scholarship or whatever. And all they told me is just never quit. And it's like the cliche stuff, you know, like never quit and like just don't back down in like the face of a challenge. But like the more and more like you climb and you realize that there's a lot of competition out, like that's all it does is help you. And like fortifying your mental side of your game is like a lot more important than you think. And I thought that was just BS at the time. But honestly, senior year, what helped me elevate my game to even get the status of being a draft prospect was that. And like, cause everyone's got the physical side, like that's all possible. But the really tough part of everything was what they told me was like being mentally strong. I didn't even know what that meant, but now like I understand. And I think that's like the most important thing I've ever taken from like a seasoned big leaguer.
Yeah, to get that from them must be incredible because I mean they've obviously had so much success. Going off the mental toughness part of it, you know, you're coming to Boston, you know, you're going to be playing here, and there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of media outlets. There's a lot of places that are going to be on you. How do you think you're going to plan on, you know, dealing with that and dealing with those outside noise, as a lot of people like to say?
I think it's just going to be important to always just be there to answer questions, whether I perform poorly or whether I just blow it out of the water. I think it's going to be important to be accessible to everyone and not just act like you're too good or whatever. But yeah, just be in there, like no matter good, bad, neutral, just always answering questions, being honest, you know, being transparent. I think that's important.
Yeah. looking at Chris Sale, I feel like that's kind of a guy that is really handling the media very, very well currently. I mean, like whenever he has a bad outing, I mean, which is very few and far between. I mean, hell, he give 3 runs in 7 innings, they'll come out and say he sucks. So I mean, like stuff like that. I know he likes to answer everything honestly. And another question branching off of mental toughness. Is there any game that you've pitched so far that you can think of, whether it's recent or as far back as like Little League, that's been really trying on your mental toughness and something that you've been able to like work through or something that you've been able to learn from or anything of that nature?
You know, one in particular sticks out, and it was a district game senior year against our rival school. And it's so funny. I dated this girl who like we had ended our relationship, and then she was dating someone on their team, and he was a starter for them, and their whole crowd, and I'm not kidding, there was 4,000 people at this high school baseball game. 4,000, like at our high school field. It was ridiculous. And they were all chanting her name whenever he came up to bat, and I struck him out in 3 pitches. So I feel like the more
that's great.
There's videos of it too on my Twitter actually. So or on my Instagram. But that was like the first and last time on the mound like I felt like someone was kind of getting in my head a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I'd never heard 4,000 people say the same thing at the same time. And it was crazy. It was
crazy. Absurd.
No, it
Jesus.
was so funny. Like on the video on my Instagram, like I had to cut out the sound because you can hear it. And no, but I think that adversity makes me a better player in the moment, and I think I'm going to try to build on that as my career goes on. So, yeah.
Yeah,
That's an incredible story. I've never heard anything like that. That is tough.
That's awesome.
Having
No,
a
that's one
pitch
of my
with their
favorite
name being chanted. That should be like your top career moment. Like you could pitch like Game 7 of the World Series, perfect game, and then that's way better than that. That is so funny.
I mean, to strike him on 3 pitches too. I mean, that's just incredible.
Totally.
I was like, just eat these fast.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's great. And he like rubbing it in the face of whether it was her or him afterwards.
Something like that.
Is there a loss that you've had that's been kind of hard for you to, kind of recover from, or is there like a game that's really bothered you over the course of your young pitching career?
A lot, like a tough loss, probably. When I was playing 15U baseball with the Dallas Patriots, we were at a tournament it was a perfect game tournament in East Cobb in Georgia. And it was me versus this guy that was committed to Georgia Tech. He was like a year or two older than me, and I was a freshman. So it was like the first really like big game that I really pitched in besides like varsity baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't get deep in the playoffs freshman year, so it wasn't like it was something I really had like never seen. Like pressure was on. First inning, I gave up like 2 runs on like an error pass ball, like another error, and then another pass ball. So it was 2-0 for 6 innings, and I was just shoving after that. But the other guy was like just dealing too. So it was like a standoff to like the 7th inning. Then we come up to bat, bottom 7, and we punch in 1 with like 2 outs, bases loaded, and then we get like a double play, and then we lost. And I was like, man, like I felt like I pitched my ass off, and we still lost. So that one was hard to swallow for a while. That's like the last loss that I remember really taking in my like amateur career. But that one's like stuck with me forever. Like I remember every detail of that game. Like it's tough losing because in like amateur baseball when you're good, like I use good loosely because it's amateur high school baseball.
Right.
Like losses are few and far in between. But I think it's just important to learn from it, which is what I did. And it just helps you get better in the long run. So take losses with like a grain of salt or whatever, but I mean, I feel like it just makes you a better player person.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's telling. I mean, a game like that, especially because like at that point, as you said, like you'd never had that big pressure situation game, and perfect game's huge. Like a lot of my friends who wanted to be like college baseball players, they'd all be like comparing their perfect game scores. I mean, perfect game, like if they had like a perfect game tournament, like they were preparing for it the whole week. So I mean, that's definitely something like as a 15-year-old too, like going against a kid who's committed to Georgia Tech, like that's big time. But no, I mean, definitely, I feel like losses like that they're almost more important sometimes than wins when you grow up because you learn the mental toughness aspect, you learn how to deal with it.
Right. No, you're right.
One thing that must suck about that is having to like look back on like if I made one different pitch in that situation, the whole game could have been different. But we've all been there, even myself.
Right. You just gotta learn from it.
Now I know that that obviously you're probably more focused on getting yourself ready for the season to start. But have you been able to pay attention at all, or do you have any idea of like what's going on in the free agent market? If you have any thoughts on the stalling market, whether like with the top guys like Jonathan Lucroy, JD Martinez, guys that just still are remaining unsigned?
Yeah, I trained with some guys that haven't been signed that actually ended up going to Japan. And like they left a couple weeks ago and they were just really stressed out about it. And it's just like a weird deal for them. And like, I feel really bad because like, I don't really know like what's to expect or whatever. Like once I get up there, if like something like that could happen to me possibly, but just, I don't know. I don't really think much of it right now because like I've just been in kind of my own world trying to grind it out this off season, but I do know it's like a tough situation for those guys.
How excited are you for spring training?
Oh
Because
my
you'll be
gosh.
there, right?
I was thinking about leaving early, like a couple days ago. Honestly.
I
Like,
wish I could go down there with you.
I'm so ready to go. Like my body feels great. Like my bullpens are looking great. Flat grounds are great. My, I've never felt more prepared for a season than I am right now. So
That's awesome.
Excited.
It's definitely great that now that you're a professional, that you're starting to feel like you're more prepared to get into a season than in years past. Definitely.
Right.
Go ahead, Evan.
So you're going to be obviously at spring training. Are there now? I know you train with a lot of tremendous pressure.
Oh, Evan.
Anybody that you're kind of like be taken back a little bit by, like, whoa, like I'm in the same locker room. Like you're gonna have like an I've made it type moment.
It's funny you say that. I went to strength camp. I haven't had like I made it moment because I haven't yet. Like I have aspirations still, and I have a lot of goals that I haven't met yet, and that I'm going to achieve eventually. But they're ways off. But I'm trying to keep my feet here now. But I was in strength camp in December for like a week and a half, and across from me, Rick Porcello had a locker. Jackie Bradley Jr. had a locker. A few lockers down from him. David Price was in there, like in like the next row, and I was like, God, this is crazy. like you go from being the guy in the locker room in a varsity locker room or a high school locker room that everyone's like, oh my gosh, that's the guy that's going to A&M or whatever, and then you go to the guy like just a few months later being like, holy shit, like look who that is. It's wild, and I'm so blessed to be like in the shoes that I am now, and I'm so excited to work my way up and try to be one of those guys like a young prospect sees and they're like, oh my gosh, like I don't even like need this guy to introduce himself to me because I know who it is.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Didn't mean to cut you off. All right. Anybody on the big league club that you're most excited to pick their brain or just to introduce yourself to them, or has that already kind of happened?
Honestly, like everyone. I met Blake Swihart
Good
while
point.
he was down in Fort Myers for a little bit, and he was really, really nice. I've met a few of the big league guys, and they're all just really nice guys, like very interpersonal. Like if you met him outside of like the baseball field and you weren't a baseball fan, you would be like, wow, that guy was just really nice. Like, and you just go about your day, and like they make you feel like you're more than you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's what makes our club so special, and we're able to put ourselves in positions to win championships is because we have people like that surrounding ourselves, and like the other players, they just try to bring them up and just make them feel like they can just take on anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
One, Jordan, do you have any more questions? Because
I do not. You can go ahead.
One last thing. When you obviously said you're a big car guy. What is your dream car to get?
Porsche 918.
It's a good car. It's a good choice.
Easy question to answer. Easy.
That was quick.
Gotta love how quick that was. Gotta love how quick that was.
Oh yeah, my gosh, I'm trying to think of other ones. That or like a Ferrari or something.
Yeah, once you get that, what would be like the next man up? What would be the next man in line?
Probably like a LaFerrari or something, but that's like way off. I have a Challenger Hellcat now that has 900 horsepower, and that thing will blow most things off the road. So I'm cool.
That's crazy. That's like a cop car.
It's got 4 seats. It's like 4,000 pounds. It has a big trunk and it has a lot of horsepower. So I mean, it burns some rubber and it's loud. That's what matters.
That's all we care about.
Exactly.
I do
have Brandon drive a boat.
Ahead.
His truck, I remember in GCO, we were fishing one day, and water's probably 4 feet high outside of JetBlue. It was like after one of the hurricanes hit, or no, this was like an instruct or something. It was like right after one of the hurricanes hit, and the water was just ridiculously high, and we just take his truck right through it, and we just started fishing. And ever since then, we've called Cole's truck the boat. So there's another little story for you guys.
That's crazy.
That's fantastic.
That's so funny.
I actually do have. I have one more question for you. Actually, I just thought of it.
Fire away. I'm
all
having
right.
fun.
All right. Is there any advice that you would give to someone that has been that's in your position now, or maybe a couple years off? Maybe not necessarily, because I know you've talked about the mental game a lot, but maybe anything in terms of preparation or anything you've done before games or something like that that you would give to a guy that's in your position or is a couple years off from where you are.
Just like stuff that I did senior year, like before starts, like during the season. Don't be messing around. Like, don't do everything else like all the other high school kids can do, like go out and party and stuff, because I know it's tempting. You just got to kind of realize that people are going to try to cut you off and like leave you in the dust or whatever. But like, you have to realize that you're headed for better things than that. And don't take any game lightly, because the next thing you know, you're going to be sinking down to like a lower level than what you can truly be playing at. And you need to elevate yourself, because that's just what good players do. Trying to think of other stuff, and just take it a day at a time. And then after you learn how to take it a day at a time, take it an hour at a time. And then after you learn how to take it an hour at a time, you take it a minute at a time. And then after that, you take it seconds at a time, because that's what truly makes you great at what you do. And that's just my philosophy on how I do things, whether it's on the field or with family. You know, like, that's why I felt like this off season was so long. And it was like 3.5 months long, because like I truly like try to take things like moment to moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that just helps you break down your life, and you can get a lot more stuff done. You know, and it's just a better way to go about things, because then you don't overlook stuff that you're going to look back on and be like, wow, like I missed that opportunity. Because then you're going to be like, all right, yeah, like I seized that, and like I took advantage of it, and I made it like everything that I possibly could.
A good answer, man.
That was a great answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely something I'm going to work on myself, and hopefully anyone watching this will also take into consideration, because obviously, you know, a guy that's in the Red Sox organization, probably one of the better guys to listen to out there. So,
I hope so.
Yeah. I think that kind of applies for everything in life, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can use that too. I don't play baseball anymore, so
I'm telling you.
I like that advice.
The washed up Little League shortstop.
Yeah,
The ex-scrappy shorts.
That was me. It's been a long time since then. Anyways, though, yeah, that was pretty much that was me. I could have played for the Little League Red Sox. You guys are awful. At any rate, though, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
You know, you have no more questions, right, Jordan?
Right. I'm also, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much, Alex. You know, I want to personally wish you the best of luck this upcoming season. I hope you have an incredible spring training. I have no doubts that you will, but you know, all the best. And you know, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'll definitely be keeping tabs myself. Thanks again, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, this has been a Hot Corner podcast with Red Sox prospect Alex Scherff. All right, peace out, guys.